G'day YouTube, Max right here, and happy Labor Day, September 7th, 2020, and welcome. It's going to be a massive video today, so I'm going to be giving away over $1,000 in prizes. I'm going to teach you all about that, how you can get involved in that. Next, I've got a huge announcement. I made this announcement to the Paid Success Council members a few days ago. You guys are going to love it. I'll tell you about that in just a few minutes. And then finally, we're going to wrap up answering all the questions, and I believe there's 74 of them. 74 questions from the members that I'm going to be going through right now and answering all of those to the best of my ability, so you're going to love this video. So let's talk about the huge announcement first. So I decided that I'm going to be creating a course on my crypto trading. When I get into crypto trades, when I get out of them, why I get into them, why I get out of them, and Chris creating a full course, where I set the stop losses, where I set the take profits, everything. It's all going to be in this course. And so if you're a Success Council member, you're hearing this for the first time, you are going to get grandfathered in for free. Okay, it's going to be that way for about the next 2 months until I complete this course. Once it's completed, this type of course probably sells for around $3,000 to $5,000. But if you're an existing Success Council member, you're going to go ahead and get that completely for free. So that's super exciting for you guys. If you're not a Success Council member, because of that, I'm going to basically open up Success Council membership again. Way cheaper than $3,000 to $5,000 for Success Council membership, which is awesome. You're going to get a $3,000 to $5,000 course as a free bonus. So that's going to be super awesome. If you are not a Success Council member, I'm opening up Success Council membership again for a limited time. So take a look in the description below. The very first link will be a link to a series of online trainings, live webinars that I'm going to be doing over the next little bit. So go ahead, register for those immediately and get involved and watch that presentation. You'll find out some unbelievably cool things. It's like the first hour or so is just exclusive, just content, just like way more and better than a normal YouTube video. And then at the very end, I let you know if you want to become a Success Council member, how to get involved with that. So you're going to love that video either way. So go ahead and check that out. And let's talk about $1,000 in prizes. So here is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be giving away, so to this is for existing Success Council members only, okay? I'm going to be doing a 100% refund on the purchase of your Success Council membership, okay? I'm going to be giving that back to you. You still get to keep your membership. You still get to have all access to the Q&As, access to all the content. You have access to everything. I'm just refunding you 100% of your money as a free bonus for 2 lucky people. Now, here's how you get to be one of the 2 lucky people. I am looking for, if you've had a great time with Success Council, I would love to hear about it, okay? So right below this video, in the description of this video, let me know, what do you think of Success Council? I want you to be honest. I don't want you to fake it. Please be honest, but tell us the best parts about Success Council. Like, what do you love about it? Have you made any money with it yet? Tell me what you love about Success Council so that others get to benefit from your experience about what you are going to get from it. Now, I said I'm going to give away 2. I'm going to give away one for a text testimonial. That's what you're providing, a testimonial. I'm going to give away one to my favorite text testimonial. And the second one, I'm going to be giving it away to my favorite video testimonial. Now, I've done this in the past, and video testimonials are very hard to get. It's a higher barrier, a little bit more effort. You got to make sure the light's right and the sound's good and all the other things. And so a lot of people just don't do it. So it's you've got a really good chance if you make a video testimonial of getting your entire Success Council membership refunded. And if you want, you can enter both. So you can make a video and a text testimonial. You can do both. So the text ones, go ahead and put them in the comments below this video. I'd love to see them. If you want to do a video one, go ahead and make a video, put it up on YouTube, put it somewhere. You can put it on a private drive if you want or something, and put a link to it in the description of this video. Now, it may not show up. I don't normally do this. YouTube's got a whole bunch of algorithms that automatically deletes a bunch of comments if they have links in them. So it'll probably get deleted and you probably won't see it. I will go in and unspam all of those things that YouTube thought was a spam because you put a link in it, okay? So even if you don't see it, it'll still be there. I will go and find it and I'll go and bring it out of spam and put it onto the video when I get a chance to do that, okay? So I'm giving away 2 lots of free Success Council membership. There's complete refunds to existing customers, one for my favorite text testimonial, one for my favorite video testimonial. I will release the winners of that. I'll choose those winners in probably about 3 days. So go ahead and get that done right now and put it in the description of this video right now. Okay, with that being said, let's head to the videos. So let's get in here. So I'm going to change this so you can see it. Me in browser, yep. So here we are. Oh, by the way, like, subscribe, share this video, do all those wonderful things. You know, that really helps me grow the channel. And by the way, this channel is really blowing up. We've got about 2,000 new subscribers in the last couple of weeks, and that's pretty awesome. So big shout out to everyone. Thank you for that. All right, this video, so this was an unlisted video. I'll put the link to this video in the description of this video. And in fact, you know what I'm going to do? I've got there's 3 of these videos which are unlisted, meaning you can't search for them in YouTube. There's this one who's just 3 or 4 days old. And this is where I let members ask the questions. I email them. You can't find this video on YouTube. You can't search for it. But I email them a link to it. Say, go here and write your questions. That's what paid members do. But in this video, I do things like market updates. It's like, hey, ask your questions below, but while I've got you, let me ask you or answer for you the most commonly asked questions, or give you a market update, things like that. In this video, we're doing market update and predicting the current pullback of the Bitcoin prices, etc. So it was a really, really valuable one for members if you want to get a taste of that. I'm going to make this, it's going to be in the link in the description, it'll be the second link in the description of this video. But I'm going to go ahead and make this available for search, as well as the last 3 videos like this, which were previously unlisted. So if you go to the Success Council channel on YouTube and search back in your last couple of weeks, you'll probably find 3. You'll find 3 videos that have not been available for search, but I'll make them available for search when I finish this video. So go to this video, and then, as always, do sort by newest first. And that means we'll be able to follow along the questions all together. And here we have something from Mr. Whaler, perhaps. Hey, Max, I have 2 questions. Best options to store jewelry, rathers. Thanks, banks, unsafe deposit box. So the purpose of jewelry is, there's a thing. That generally you're allowed, this question is designed in anticipation of capital controls. They're saying, if the dollar collapses and bad stuff happens, are they going to start confiscating gold? Are they going to start confiscating bullion? Are they going to start outlawing Bitcoin? All these types of things, right? How do you circumvent capital controls? One way that people choose to do this is through having a lot of wealth in jewelry, because they tend not to confiscate jewelry. Now, of course, they can, and they did in places, especially the communist regimes, like Pol Pot did this in Cambodia and other bits and pieces. But even in the US during the Great Depression, they outlawed gold, forced you to sell your gold back to government, and then put up the price. And so it was illegal to own bullion, remained that way for nearly half a century. But they allowed you to keep your jewelry. Why? You can't tell all the women to give back their wedding bands. No. Simply when their engagement rings, their wedding bands, not going to happen. They understand how far they can push people, and don't get half the population to give back their wedding band, or 100% of the population to give back their wedding bands and diamond rings. They're smart enough not to try that. So generally, they tend not to outlaw jewelry. So some people, as a strategy in anticipation of capital controls, like to have very, very expensive jewelry. Really, it's just in bullion for all intents and purposes, but it's turned into a ring. There could be huge diamonds on it, whatever, huge necklaces. You can carry $100,000 worth of gold around your neck with gold or something like that. So that's the nature of this question. The answer to the question is you need this somewhere where you can get to it very, very quickly. You're right, don't put it in banks, but the purpose of this strategy is for you to wear it through security at an airport, through security at a port. That's the purpose of it, because they tend not to confiscate it, they tend not to scrutinize it. So it needs to be very, very near to you. If you happen to have a non-bank safe near you, then that's a possible thing like that. Like Brinks do it in some other places, but they don't do it in every city. So maybe this is something that you just have to have at home, but its purpose is for you to wear it so that you can get through ports. So it needs to be somewhere you can get to, and if you have to leave in an emergency, disastrous scenario. So I hope that helps on that question. Do you know of any hardware wallet that stores Monero offline? Looked into Ledger, but couldn't see if they have a direct storage option. I don't know the answer to that offhand, but Trezor and Ledger, the two most common, or the two that I recommend, hardware wallets. And I would try them. I'd be surprised if it doesn't hold Monero actually, but I can't promise that. I don't have any Monero, so I'm not sure. That's not sure I do have Monero, but I use a paper wallet. So I hope that helps. Sorry I wasn't more helpful in that second question. This is from Bridget. Hey Max, what's the deal with quantum financial system that Trump is calling in? What is the relationship to quantum computing and how will it affect crypto? Is it the end of the banking system? Okay, I'm sorry, Bridget, I don't know. I haven't heard quantum financial system mentioned by Trump or anybody else. So I am not very helpful on that one. Sorry, I couldn't be more helpful. Lotus, hi Max. How do you structure your day? Like when do you start your day of researching for markets? Which portals do you check for reliable intel? And what nice core routines do you have to balance it all? In terms of accumulating strategy, let's go into a second question. How do I structure my day? I'm a very, very unstructured person. I think the reason I am a libertarian is I'm just such a freedom-oriented person. I know I am. Like my goal, like I didn't want to be a billionaire. My goal was to never have to wear a suit. That's what I wanted when I was 20. It was like, I just never want to have to wear a suit. I want to be, I wear what I want, I do what I want, at the times that I want. I'm just a completely freedom-oriented person. So for as high-functioning a person as I am, I hardly have any set routines. There's a cost to it. The cost is that, A, I'm probably not as productive as I could be. B, I don't, what's the word? Well, I guess it comes back to productivity. I'm just not as efficient as I could be. The upside, the other bad side is if I don't like doing something, I'm probably not going to do it, which means I have to design my businesses and my strategies around something that I know I'm going to love, or else I won't do it. And so that's just really important for me because I don't, now's the time I'm doing this thing that I hate for 2 hours every day. I don't do that. I'm past that. I'm wealthy enough that I don't have to work ever. I don't need to make $1. And so if I don't love it, I don't do it. So if I think it's really, 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 and I really don't like having employees either. I do have a couple, shout out to them, love you guys. But as a general rule, I don't want to run this big organization. And so I don't have many employees. And so I kind of structure everything to not have any employees and I only do what I love. If there's something that is really, really, really important, then I will have employees for that. And I just like it, I'll have employees for that. So a little bit about me. But what does my days tend to look like? There's just a couple things I do every day. I check zerohedge.com. I check thedonald.win.com to get the alternative news, the right-wing news, because you don't have to try and get left-wing news. It's available everywhere. I want to understand the other side. And the next thing, I just check I check a lot of crypto charts. I checked a lot of charts actually, and you guys have seen this. Yeah, can I show you? I can show you right here. So I use a site here. Yeah, you can reload that. And it only takes me like 5-10 minutes. But I go through all of these charts like every single day. So where is it? I think my internet could be stronger here. But I go through, you'll see the list here. It's called my watch list. And it's it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, it's Ripple, it's Dash, it's just so many. And most of them, it's Bitcoin and Ethereum in US dollars. And then basically lots of things measured in Bitcoin. Because, I'm trying to grow, my strategy is to grow the amount of Satoshis I have, grow my Bitcoin. So when I'm trading crypto, I'm trading in terms of Bitcoin. I'm not buying with dollars, I'm buying with Bitcoin, I'm selling into Bitcoin, etc. So I check all these different coins and don't read this as anything special, like, oh my God, Max isn't really into these things. Some of them I don't follow at all. But what I do is I actually trade with things that I don't have any idea about. Because I just want to, there are certain times when I want to follow the market and understand everything and anticipate things. But there are other times I just want to look at the charts, look at the indicators that I look at and just go that way. So that's what I kind of do there. And so I'll do that. Actually, I might come back to these charts a little bit later on. I'll expand them out. And then what? And then that's about it. That's all I do like every single day. for the vast majority of the year, that's kind of it. The rest I'm kind of parenting, being a dad. I homeschool my kid. And so a whole bunch of fun things like that, family orientated time. But then right now I am quite busy work-wise. I just had a whole influx of Success Council members, so I'm really concentrating on taking care of them and adding value to them and helping them get over all the jumps and hurdles. So spending a lot of that time now, and usually it's a good time for me because usually I travel a lot, but traveling is just boring as hell with Corona. So it's like, okay, I'm going to work this year. So that's what I've been doing. Okay, next question. In terms of accumulating strategy for precious metals and crypto, we just buy a bit more on the dips or a bit every month, still leaving dry powder for a possible big pullback. Love it, keeping it simple. Do you have any advice on how to stash or stack for accumulation? No, the strategies you outlined is great. You're writing a question here. So on this video, way up here, you know exactly what I said. I told you that I'm expecting another further big pullback in all markets. And so, yeah, just no, everything else you're saying here is perfect. Yeah, that's all I got for you. Sorry, I don't have anything better for you. But, and listen to this channel. Listen to this channel and other channels. There's a lot of good guys out there. Where to buy DeFi from? DeFi Lab, thank you. So I'm not fully immersed in the DeFi world. I actually am excited to get into it. I'm very pro DeFi world. And so, but I haven't gone in there. For the next couple of months, I'm going to be really busy taking care of all the Success Council members, creating this new trading course. The very next thing I'm going to do after that is go into DeFi. I want to go and do a deep dive on DeFi. I've started already. But yeah, I don't know. Well, let me there's a couple of little areas I will show you. That's not it. That's it. So this is an important website. So it's called DeFiPulse.com. And it's kind of gives you all of the data on what's happening in the DeFi world. Wow, look at that big pullback there. Yeah, I really wanted to see a big pullback in DeFi as well for a couple of reasons. I very often certain types of infrastructure work in a bull market, but doesn't work when shit hits the fan. And so I really want to see how is DeFi responding to this? Are they handling it? And that's going to be very, very interesting to see. Because if there's a run for the exits, can the DeFi systems even operate? Are a whole bunch of companies going to be exposed as a Ponzi scheme that were only working in the good times and actually were stealing people's money? All those things I want to see. It's why I don't rush into something like DeFi. It's big, it's complicated, and so I know, I'm very confident. Bitcoin, Ethereum are going to do very, very well over the next couple of years. So I just kind of hang out in those worlds for now. But I do like DeFi, and I am going to get in there for sure in probably later on this year. Where do you buy DeFi coins? So actually, here's where you buy DeFi coins. So this is a DEX. Uniswap is a DEX, meaning a decentralized exchange. So what you do is you would buy Ethereum from a normal exchange, like you could Coinbase or Kraken or Bitfinex or whatever. And then you have to download the software of Uniswap or others, and you can trade your Ethereum for a lot of the other DeFi coins. That's how that works. Wow, I'd like to hear about that free word. I think you're referring to the big announcement, which I'm going to be giving free access to my trading course for all existing members of Success Council. You're welcome. Been paying too much there. Okay, cool. It's not a question, but thank you for the kind words. Max, much love and respect for doing all of this. With such low interest rates and an impending fiat reset, some may be tempted to leverage low to no credit to increase their holdings in crypto and PM. Thoughts on this? So yeah, obviously it's a risky strategy. It's a riskier strategy, but it's something that can work out very, very well. So the argument being that if we go into hyperinflation or a very high inflation, that debt is inflated away. So you can borrow $100,000, you can go and buy $100,000 worth of Bitcoin, and then the argument is, even let's just say Bitcoin does not explode in value, but just goes up with inflation, but you still have high inflation. Well, you now have $200,000 of Bitcoin, but you only have $100,000 of debt. You can sell $100,000, pay that off, and you've got $100,000 worth of free Bitcoin, or real estate, or gold, or metal, wherever, anything else. So it's a very, very reasonable strategy. Obviously, you're putting yourself out there. It's a higher risk. It's a leveraged position. It's a higher risk position. If the market moves against you for a short time, then all of a sudden you might get margin called. It's an emotional roller coaster. Can be emotional drain. And so as long as you understand all of the things that you're talking about, understand the consequences. Let's really think, what happens if the market goes 50% against me? Can I handle that? Will I get margin called and have to close my position? You've got to really understand this world, but is it a reasonable strategy? It can be a reasonable strategy. I would suggest it's more of a strategy for people who don't have much to lose. It's like, oh man, I'm just, the world's crumbling and I haven't got much. I'm just going to put all my chips on the table, leverage the shit out of it and see how it goes. Maybe that's a great idea. If that's your risk tolerance, go for your life, because I think the strategy will more than likely work. Do I do it? No, it's too risky and there's way too much to lose. I don't need to. I have enough to invest. So for a certain type of person with a certain risk tolerance, I think it could be a good strategy. Let's see what else we have. Banks will enjoy bailouts and bail-ins. Will it hit it'll hit common folk hard? Yes, but I'm not clear on the tactics that could be used to attempt to recoup loans from individuals. So I think, they have all the normal, well, unless are you talking about another strategy, which is just borrowing money with intent not to pay it back no matter what? That's a thing. You can do that too. Again, I'm not recommending it, but but you probably change jurisdictions. Borrow money to the eyeballs in one jurisdiction and then leave, declare bankruptcy, go to another country, walk into that country with a whole bunch of money in your pocket. That's an option. You can do that. James Kirk, how low do you think Bitcoin will go? So I kind of answered this question in quite a large fashion in this video. I don't have a particular price target. It all depends. So I think that if I was just looking at the Bitcoin charts and understanding Bitcoin history and being a Bitcoin expert, which I am, I would say Bitcoin probably dipped below $10,000 for its last time. Probably this last little chance you got. Very often, let's go back and take a look at the chart here. Very often when Bitcoin breaks a line of resistance, and it had a huge line of resistance at 10,480, you see it hit it once, twice, 3 times over the course of a year. It finally broke through. Very, very often when it breaks this line of resistance, it comes back down and tests that line of resistance. Now it is now for several days below, for 5 days here, below this line of resistance. But on what are we? We're Monday, so the last week closed out. So last week, the weekly candle closed out below, but the monthly candle, that was a week ago too. Maybe a monthly candle, no, the monthly candle closed out just here. Where are we? September, so the monthly candle closed up here. So this isn't confirmation yet, I would say, that it's broken through the trend line and is gone forever. It's broken through 10,480 and it just touched below 10,000 for a little bit, then went back up. That's the wicks only. Didn't even close a day on that. So watching this closely, I would not be surprised, just looking at the Bitcoin chart, if we just went up from here. However, I'm not just a Bitcoin expert. I'm a Fed expert and a broader market expert and a cycles expert. And when I look at the other situations in the world, I see that the whale, the elephant in the room, the whale in the room, the whatever, is the US dollar. And this the broader economic system. This crash here in March, it was a monster. From here to here, 55%. This was at the same time the Dow went from 29,000 to 18,000. It's the same time silver went from, I think, 17 to 12. Everything got hit, and I'm expecting that event to happen again. If that event happens again, then like I said, just looking at Bitcoin, I say we're going up. But because I'm an expert in other industries and other things, I think there's going to be one more big pullback before Bitcoin and precious metals take off for the moon. So actual price predictions, it depends. It depends on how big the market one is. So you maybe use some ratios, like this went down 50%, a few days after the Dow went down from 29 to 18. So, use those as maybe ratios. The Dow went down by a third, Bitcoin went down by over a half. Maybe we could get to 5,000. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. But I don't have any strong predictions on that yet. It's more, if this thing happens like I think it's going to happen, you'll know it to happen, and it'll look like this: fall off a cliff, rise up, recapture all the confidence, and then new all-time highs, off to the races. That's what I think it will look like. Hi Max, short and sweet. Yeah, no, just read that one. All great questions, by the way. Hey Max, I've been predicting a second wave sell-off with Bitcoin to 3K again, and I've cashed out near the top. Well played. Do you think I should be switching to US dollars soonish? The DXY looks like it may have a reversal soon. Yeah, I agree with you. I think the dollar looks like it's going to have a little bit of a reversal here soon. Let's see. Let's go to the dollar chart. So here's the US dollar, clearly in a big downtrend. We still have lower low, lower low, lower low, lower high, lower high, lower high. We are still in a low. This is the dollar index, in case I didn't mention that. And so what we would need to see is the dollar X to break out above these kinds of levels, find itself back up in the 94s, and then that would be confirmation of a potential trend reversal. And then you would need to see a higher low come back to this level and keep on going. That's what we would need to see, confirmation that the dollar is getting stronger. But you're asking for very specific questions around particular currencies, which I'm not really following. Let me find your question again. The pound, Australian dollar, the euro, not super following that stuff. And so I don't know. Yeah, when that happens, I would say yes. So I think that would be, this second wave sell-off you're talking about, what you would see is a flee to safety. Still today, this won't be the case forever, but still today, US dollar is perceived as safe versus everything else. And so when there's that panic-stricken drop 20-30% in the Dow and the worldwide markets and everything, they will run to US dollars, I think. And so it would be a pretty good place to be, including other foreign fiat currencies. I think that a dollar would be a pretty good place to be. I think I would do it round about now. I mean, I'm not an expert in these things, we're a long stretch, but now is a pretty good time, I would think, to do that. Hope that helps, Mike. Great questions. You recommended the book arbitrage thing to make some extra money. I was wondering if you or anyone you know is currently doing it and has success. Yeah, I don't do it. So just for you got to understand what lane you're in. The book arbitrage thing is a really good place, I think, to make $50,000 to $100,000. If you're trying to, just get out of the rat race and maybe work from home and do some other things, it's a great place to be. If you've got $1 million invested in Bitcoin or something, probably not going to be doing book arbitrage. So, but yeah, I do know people who are making a success of it. Hi Max, thanks for the video. I live in the UK, bought into silver, or gold, I beg your pardon. Hang on. Why do I know that? Why do I not know that? Gold, thank you. Bought into gold in 2016, 2017, and started buying BTC 2018. Gradually dollar cost averaging into BTC, never bought BTC above 8K, well played, and more recently have acquired a much smaller position in silver. The total portfolio consists of approximately 55% of Bitcoin, okay, cool, current market value, blah, blah, blah. However, I am not holding anything in cash. Considering all asset classes are currently still up since my acquisition, except silver, would you consider moving a percentage of my holding into cash for all the reasons? Until the right time to move? Yes. So yeah, like as I've said, I think it's a very limited amount of time, but there's a small amount of time in which US dollars is going to be a winner. And now is probably a very good time for between now and the election. And then once that big crash happens, when you feel like it's bottomed out, then I'm done with cash forever, I think. So I hope that helps. Great question. Max, what is your opinion about the current DeFi craze? Will it keep going up, crash, etc.? So, I mean, we're definitely in the middle of a crash right now. And look, I think long term it's going to be great. I'm hugely excited about the DeFi world. And just to replace banks and all that kind of good stuff, can't wait. And it's just going to be huge. There's absolutely no question in my mind. So accumulating on your favorite projects during pullbacks like this, it's fine. It is going to take longer than you think. There's going to be some explosions for sure. There's going to be pullbacks. It's like, oh, we're not so sure anymore. And then there's going to be more explosions. And that is the nature of this beast. The really big moves are probably, yeah, they're going to happen. I think they'll happen a little bit later. We've had a big move already, of course. That kind of went in advance of Bitcoin, although Bitcoin was going up then too. Had the bigger pullback. It's just going to be a more volatile world. When Bitcoin came back about 20%, pretty much everything else came back 30 or 40%. And when DeFi is going crazy, it's going up much faster than Bitcoin. So it's a more wild ride. But yeah, a long term, I'm very excited about DeFi. Hi Max, great content. In the beginning of the video, you mentioned that you have predicted the recent red days in the market. Would you please explain where you mentioned this, as I have missed this info? Thanks, buddy. I mentioned it in several YouTube videos, like in several different places. And so which ones? I think, well, when did this video come out? This video came out on the 4th of September. When did the Bitcoin crash happen? What was this day? 3rd of September. Oh no, I came out the day after, so sorry. This video doesn't explain it. I would guess my previous 2 Q&A questions both mentioned it. That's what I would guess. I've mentioned it in a few videos recently. Cryptos, you can find them all on this channel, by the way. So just click on my icon just below the video, and then look for the magnifying glass. Click on the magnifying glass, or actually, just click my previous videos. It's in my last 5 videos for sure. Crypto cold storage. What are the options for cold storage until Trezor and Ledger arrives, as shipping internationally can take longer? Thank you and keep it up. I mean, really talking weeks. You can leave it on the exchange for a week. That's fine. Just leave it on the exchange. Every time you move it, there's some safety in having a paper wallet, and I can show you where to go. But every time you move Bitcoin, it's an extra stress and headache. And did you do everything correct? And just leave it on the exchange for a week. I think that's the less scary of the 2 things. Safest exchanges that offer the most coins. Thanks. So I've told you guys how to do this in the members area, but let's go to coinmarketcap.com, and if you go to let's try. What are we gonna? Let's go down a little bit and let's go Bitcoin Cash. Oh, I didn't mean to click that. Can I click on that? Click on the volume thing of a crypto that's down like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we're going to look at, oh, it didn't, market pairs. Here we are. No? Oh, it's loading. Here it is. It's loading. So what we're waiting for is this to come up, and it's going to tell you all of the exchanges. Or you can also click on this up here and click exchanges. But okay, this is going to tell us where BCH is trading. And it'll even give you a confidence level in the particular exchanges. So Binance is a monster. OKX is okay, but it's not a top tier one. Binance is huge. Coinbase is huge. What else have we got? Kraken is huge. We got Bitfinex is huge. Bitstamp is a good one. It's been around forever. I've used Bitstamp in years gone by. So they're the ones that jump out at me. Yeah, but you can click in here and go exchanges. And what happens in here? Is this just options? There you go, top cryptocurrency exchanges by ranking. You can click in here. And then you can only choose the ones that have derivatives like futures contracts and options, etc. So I hope that helps. That's teaching a person how to fish, because this information changes all the time. So that's how you do it. You go to coinmarketcap.com and look at the volumes of all the exchanges. Hi Max, thanks for all the great insights. Would you sell Apple stocks now? Yes, I would. I bought during the March crash and I'm now at about 85% gain. Well played. Down here recently from just over 100%. It's in an IRA and will partially convert to physical precious metals and recommended Regal assets. Yes. So yeah, look, well played. Apple's just had a phenomenal run, and yeah, again, I think everything's going to get hit hard again. Everything's going to get. That's why I have a fair amount of cash right now. So yeah, I mean, if you wanted to be a total baller, I would just go into cash for a little while, wait for that crash to happen, then get into precious metals. So yeah, excited to be part of this. Great to have you, Stephen. Thanks for inviting us into your new trading training. Looking forward to it. Would be interested to hear who you studied trading with, just as a background reference as we learn what you've learned. I'll go through all that in the as I make the course. I'll tell you who I learned that from. Thanks for the video. I just received my hardware Trezor wallet. Is there a video where you explain in detail on how to purchase Bitcoin from one of the suggested sites you state as training? What's the difference between buying Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies? Thank you, Nelly, for a great question. Remember I said earlier I don't do things I don't like doing? Yeah, these Trezors and ledgers, I recommend them, but they change all the time. Like there's a new version out, and it just changes all the time. I'm not making like support videos for all the different wallets out there. It's just I don't like it. I'm just not going to do that. The other thing is I don't need to. If I thought there was no other option, I would get a support staff to do it. Here's what you do. You just jump on YouTube and look for how to use your you buy your Trezor, it'll have a model number or a version number or something like iPhone 8, or you'll have like Trezor X. Go and search for a YouTube video on how to use my Trezor wallet, and there'll be a video there explaining to you exactly how to do it. Look for one with lots of views, so you have a little bit of faith and confidence in it, and you kind of want one. If you've got the model number, you'll be fine. You'll get the right version, and you'll be good to go. Hi Max, when you set up your new, hang on, you had a second question here. What's the difference between buying Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies? I'm not sure how to answer that. There's one, it's like, what's the difference between buying Apple stock and buying Netflix stock? I mean, they're just two different things. You're just buying two different things. With regards to your Trezor wallet, you just need to make sure that what you're buying, your Trezor can hold, because your Trezor can't handle, isn't compatible with everything. Bob, hi Max. When you set up your new crypto course, will it be pound helpful? Yeah, it doesn't. I'm not even going to use fiat currencies. It's just like trade your fiat currencies into like Ethereum or Bitcoin or whatever it is you want. You're trying to acquire more of, and then I'll teach you how to go in and out of other cryptocurrency pairs to acquire more of the thing that you're trying to get to. I'm stuck with BTC and F pairings and a very high trading cost. Thanks and enjoying it all. Yeah, we'll solve that problem for you, Bob. Don't worry about that. Does intrinsic value, like in the case of precious metals, to cryptocurrencies as well? I'm not sure what that means. Also, I'm fascinated about how and why cryptocurrencies appeared at exactly the right time in history to ensure that the anticipated economic collapse would have a soft landing and not a full-blown crash, which would lead to a major civil unrest and Mad Max scenarios, which the so-called ruling elite would be not happy with. Enjoying the member section so much. Very happy to be part of the group. Props to you, Max. Yes, there's a very good reason why Bitcoin arrived at the very right time. It's simply supply and demand. After 2008, a lot of people saw, like a lot more people were woken up to what's going on, and the marketplace for solutions to these problems increased. The demand increased. So entrepreneurs came in and stepped in and filled that gap. Satoshi himself he'd been working on it for years, but when he released the Bitcoin blockchain, in the very first block, he put a link to, I think it was a New York Times article, if my memory serves, talking about fiat currencies printing money for 2008. So he was doing this, obviously he was aware of it well before, but he was doing this in response to the government's response to 2008 global financial crisis. So it's not unrelated. Yes, these things do feed into each other. Let me have one more crack at your first question. Does intrinsic value, besides storing of values, like in the case of precious metals, apply to cryptocurrencies as well? It is intrinsic value. Yes, I believe it does. The intrinsic value of cryptocurrencies, look, people think this cannot be the case, especially I'm an Austrian economist. In the world of Austrian economics, they have what's called regression theorem, which is before money can be money, it must be useful for something else. I'm not sure I buy that theorem, and I think cryptocurrency is a good argument for not, because it is so stupendously perfect as being for money, even though it does have some other purposes. Pretty much everyone wants to use it for money. And so not sure if the theorem holds true, but does it, which is kind of where you're getting at with that intrinsic value theorem. So yeah, I think it does apply is the answer. But if you go through my channel, I've got a couple of, Peter Schiff and I had a little bit of a back and forth on Bitcoin. Go and look at my videos on Bitcoin. He raises that kind of similar question. I answer it more thoroughly there. What do you think of Bitcoin and gold IRAs, specifically iTrust? I know BitIRA has ridiculous fees. Here's the trust link. What have you heard or experienced about living in Portugal? I've heard nothing about living in Portugal. I visited Portugal. I've never lived there and don't know anybody who does. So I don't know about that. Bitcoin IRAs, no, I don't know. I don't use any of those things. Why bring a third-party intermediary in it? Or if you want to do like a self-managed retirement vehicle or something, I'm cool with that. That's fine. Just don't bring trusts into it. I wouldn't. Just use it yourself. There are some more questions. No, that's all. Okay. None of the market rules apply anymore. No economic rules, no demand and supply, no macro, no micro. It's all speculation, backed and based on the Fed's quantitative easing. And okay, this isn't a question. I'm not seeing a question mark there. So I agree with you. Yes, JJ. What news from the Federal Reserve drove the market down this week? I don't know, and it could be things happening in the background that's not publicly available yet. All the insiders get the info first. So it could be a whole bunch of things, and I don't know the answer, so I can't really speculate. Can't wait for the crypto course, Max, and I'm so lucky to have found you and joined the Success Council. Question. I've gotten really involved in the DeFi craze and want to put some crypto assets into yield farming and liquidity mining. Should I continue trading this altcoin boom or just put it into BTC and ETH? Thanks as always, Max. So you live by the sword, you die by the sword. If you've gotten into the DeFi craze for a while there, you're probably crushing it, and probably now you might be crying. So, but you're still well up probably, depending on how early you got started. But this is your trading strategy. You need to know your strategy going in. Like if you want to get into DeFi, that's fine. Just understand there's going to be some brutal days in there. Just expect 20, 30, 40% swing days, both up and down. And so should you be in like the more stable coins of Bitcoin and Ethereum? This is a risk reward ratio. This is all depending on your level of learning, my friend. I'm afraid I can't answer that for you. Hi Max, I own a construction company in Ontario, Canada. We bid government contracts, so I've noticed a lack of projects to bid on lately. My question is, do you think governments will start cutting back on spending due to the economic depression and reduction of tax base due to local businesses failing and people losing their jobs? I have land and building and capital equipment with no debt. I'm thinking of liquidating before it is late and investing more into Bitcoin, precious metals, and land abroad. What do you think if you're in my position? Thanks for your thought. Hey, Marcus, it's an interesting one. So I think tools is actually a really good thing to have. I mean, everything from a drill all the way up to major construction equipment. If you have the tools to do stuff and build stuff, that's a real tangible asset all day long, and it's really cool. So I like that. I don't love the idea because it's really easy to get the timeline wrong. We know there's going to be a crash and things like that, but I don't want you to give away your income because what if this drags out for 4 or 5 years? So I'm not a big fan of that. That's the first thought. Second thought, governments, they are going to do, so I think they're going to just do stimulus till all the days, until it all comes. One of the ways in which they can do that, so they can hand out money, sure. They can do the $1,200 checks like they did in Australia, in America. They can do, buying stocks and all that kind of stuff. But another big thing they can do is stimulus. Buy government projects. So, hey, let's go build Hoover Dam. Let's go build all this kind of good stuff. And that is spending. What the Keynesians believe is the silly, stupid market gets scared for no reason and stops spending, and that causes a crash. So we wise people at the Fed, we actually know better. The market's wrong. We will come in and spend money when they don't. So they typically spend more money when it's a downturn. That's what their strategy is. They want to spend more the worse the economy is because they're undoing the stupid people, the stupid plebs who got it wrong. So the other thing is it's very likely you could see more government spending. That's an absolute possibility. So, again, I'm a big fan of being exposed to precious metals and land. I would be hesitant to go too far into that with regards to your thing there. This could be a golden time for you coming up. Could be. But having said that, sorry, I'm just going back to that. In 2008, for sure, but a lot of private sector stuff happens, and so you get a huge excess of building trades and whatever. And so the cost of labor is going to go down. But with regards to government contracts, maybe in that world that it's possible that expenses went up. I would go back and look at government expenses on infrastructure projects during 2008 and have a look what your government did. If it's your industry, you probably know off the top of your head, what did they do? And that's probably what they'll do. I'm studying economics constantly, but struggling to connect the dots on some of the mechanics of how it all works. This is from a recent article I read. The Fed's policy of making debt cheap and propping up stocks has already cut the GDP growth rate in half since the 70s. It has deprived the average person of a meaningful raise for 45 years, and then it has buried the entire nation under $23 trillion mountain of debt. The last sentence is straightforward, but I could use some help on understanding the first two sentences. A little help, please. So you're asking for understanding, not the correlation, meaning not the mechanics of how it came true. So the Fed's policy of making debt cheap. So what they mean by that is they're lowering interest rates. So the Fed sets interest rates and they just make them, over the decades, they've made them lower and lower and lower. It's been a consistent trend for the last 4 or 5 decades. That's what they're doing. They're propping up stocks. Why does it prop up stocks? Propping up stock means elevating the stock price. So stocks, some stocks, many stocks have dividends, others don't. That's fine, but the dividends one especially. If a stock has a dividend, it means it's got some cash flow yield. And so if you can borrow money very, very cheaply, if I can borrow money like at $100 million at 1%, and I can buy a stock that has a yield or a dividend, a dividend of over 1%, then I'm just making cash flow, right? Plus I'm holding all this stock at a time when the stock market's going up. And the stock market should go up because more and more people can borrow money to buy stocks, to collect the yield, to pay off the interest, and put a bit of money in their pocket left over. And so the cheap money chases financial assets, especially anything with a yield, real estate and stocks. And so that's what they're hinting at there. And I believe they are correct, by the way. Probably stocks, and has already cut the rate of GDP growth in half. So one of the things that low interest does is it destroys savings. There is no incentive to save. Why would you save money? You're a fool if you save money. Go out and spend all your money on speculative stocks because things are going up. The reason things are going up is for what I just told you. Cheap money can chase financial assets and bid up the price. In the same way, why would you stick money in the bank and get 0.5% or 1/10% when you can go and buy something and that is constantly going up with a yield? And so money is chasing that stuff. So it destroys the pool of savings. The pool of savings of a nation is one of the biggest indicators of future GDP growth. If you have an economy with a huge pool of savings, that pool of savings wants to do something. What it wants to do is people can I can relax making money, and I can live off my savings while I invent a new tool. I come up with a new process. I start a new business. All of those things can only be done if you have a pool of savings to live off while you start your new enterprise, your new idea, your new whatever. And it's that new stuff that raises the productivity of a nation and increases the GDP size. When you have a low pool of savings and you're borrowing a ton of money, and just you're trying to speculate there largely. But the savings pool is critically important to a country's future GDP growth. So when they lower interest rates, what they do is they destroy the incentive to save. I hope that makes sense. It's deprived the average person of a meaningful raise in 45 years. So they're referring to inflation there, the symptom of inflation, which is rising prices. You may have got a price increase, a wage increase, but the cost of your milk and your hamburger has gone up so much that you basically had no meaningful pay increase. All right, hope that helps. Thank you for that. If the mothership returns and wants you to go back to your planet, will you stay? How will you navigate the currency market without your captain? Oh, how will we? Oh, I guess that's calling me your captain. No, I don't. So maybe the mothership is Australia because you're referring to me. Yeah, I don't think my chances of going back to Australia to live anytime soon is that high. Australia's in complete lockdown. Although, thank God, there was finally a protest in Australia. I thought this had given up on the country almost. There's finally a protest calling out the stupidity of the draconian lockdowns. There was hundreds of people arrested. It was a peaceful protest, largely, and I don't mean a CNN peaceful protest. It was largely peaceful. They just they were protesting the lockdown, saying get back to work. So anyway, no, I'm not taking you I'm not going to another planet or to Australia anytime soon. And so, yeah, I'll be here for a while. And thanks for the fun question. Thank you for all your knowledge and inspiration, Max. I'm completely new to all of this, but have been studying my ass off for the past month. I'm all cash now and only have $2,000, maybe $3,000 to invest in Bitcoin. In your opinion, should I jump straight in, bigger dip, etc.? Guys, I answered this question, I fleshed it out quite considerably in this video. Like this comment is written on a video page. Scroll up, it's on that video. That's what I talk about. Keeping some dry powder ready to get in if Bitcoin price goes down. It's all there in this video explained. Sorry, let me scratch my nose. As you've probably said, the crypto market used to be a contrarian indicator, but now in recent times moves in a similar direction as the stock market. What are your thoughts on crypto again becoming contrarian? Yes, very high. Second question, with the crypto market, what are your thoughts of a decoupling of the small fish alts from BTC whale? Or to rephrase, when will the alts start becoming contrarian to BTC? The second part's interesting. So yes, I do believe it will become more contrarian. After this next big crash, I think you'll see precious metals and cryptocurrency lead the recovery and come out and be the two best performing asset classes. That's my prediction. So in that way, it will be, the stocks will continue to go down, real estate will continue to go down, Bitcoin and metals will explode up after a crash. They'll all crash together, then they'll separate. That's my prediction. Alts doing this, so alts is a very broad term. Let's answer this in terms of Bitcoin dominance. Interesting thing going on here. Let's go and look at the Bitcoin dominance chart. Where are you, Bitcoin? So we're in the middle of this downtrend of Bitcoin dominance. This top trend line is pretty solid. We've got several points of contact along there. This bottom trend line's a little bit iffy. I'm not exactly sure where it is. We've got a point of contact here. Yeah, there's not much here. Here's where it bounced off before. Not a particularly solid trend line, just 2 points of contact. So there's some things going on there. We're definitely in this shorter term downtrend, but this looks like, well, maybe, we don't know yet. Maybe, no, probably not. This is still a lower high. So we still have not reversed trend on BTC dominance, and maybe we're going to go down past this blue line that I've got drawn in. As I said, it's not a very solid line, but I am expecting this top trend line is fairly solid, and I still think we're pretty likely to come up and test it. Now, especially if we see some weakness, we got. Let's do another thing. Let's talk about this. Okay, BTC dominance. I'm going to change to a weekly chart here because I really want some historical perspective. Okay, actually no. Let's go F Bitcoin. This is going to be better. This where we're talking about? No, actually, sorry. This BTC dominance is going to explain this best. So right here we have Bitcoin dominance in the 90%. Now Ethereum came out like way back here, and then all of a sudden there's this thing happens. What happened was in this period, Bitcoin screwed the pooch and did not handle a tech problem as well as it could have, and a governance problem as well as it could have. And as a result, the Bitcoin transaction fee skyrocketed. It became very expensive to do Bitcoin transaction. As a result, Ethereum and others started taking over and capturing market share. Okay? What is happening now, part of let's go back to this DeFi market here, and we'll go back and we'll find Ethereum. I mean, everything got smashed now, but Ethereum got smashed harder than Bitcoin. It's pretty minor. This is not a big deal. But there could be, Ethereum fees are starting to go up high because there's a lot of people rushing in and the chain simply can't handle it. So Ethereum fees are starting to climb. If there is a DeFi craze going on, we could see those fees go up big time, and there might be a similar thing that happened to Bitcoin in 2016-17. You might see people jump out of these areas to go back to a lower fee object. And maybe Bitcoin will be that, especially as we're now 18 months, 2 years into SegWit coming out and the technology coming through to kind of manage the Bitcoin fees. So we will see how that plays out. But that can go a few different ways. And sometimes I go by charts and look at things like that. Sometimes I'm like, no, there's some big things at play. They're going to break all the charts and cause things to break out of trend and stuff like that. So there might be some big things coming for the Bitcoin dominance. What do we got here? Hey Max, new to Success Council and need a huge favor opinion. I invested a big amount in Electronia, I don't know it, around ICO price and stuck. You think it has potential to grow in the coming months or years? I haven't heard of it. I don't even know what it is. So I'm sorry about that. Also, its CEO is Richard Ellis and something. I don't really care about Richard Ellis. But as you say, there goes anonymity, right? Okay. So yeah, you got to check. I don't know. You got to check in that coin about anonymity. I'm not sure. What do you think about projects like this? I just don't know the project. Sorry, I can't be more helpful, Solu. I just don't know that project. Global reset in the monetary system coming. Well, yes. The speed with which is always the question. Good video, Max. Look forward to the new video you will be releasing on cryptos. I like red days across the markets. Great opportunity to reaccumulate. Yes. What is your current asset diversification percentages between Bitcoin, gold, and silver? I am probably 70% Bitcoin. I am probably, and then let's call it 15% cash, 15% precious metals. And of the precious metals, let's call it 80% silver. Actually, it's not correct. Probably 60% silver. I hope that helps. Hi, Max. What are your top 5 altcoins currently and a few to keep track of in the future? Thanks. I really like EOS. I like Ethereum. I do like Chainlink. I like the projects. So I haven't looked into them as a price analysis thing. I like these things for their projects, for what they are, what they're doing. In terms of understanding a price analysis, that might be a different thing. But for a long-term play, I'm into that. Right now, probably my second biggest coin is EOS. But I will if I get a really big pullback like this crash coming, and I've kept some dry powder, I will probably, I've got all the Bitcoin, I probably will come in heavy on Ethereum. Is what I will most likely do. But I'll tell you guys what I do when I do it. Don't worry about that. Do you have a ratio that you would use to diversify into each asset class? No, I don't have it. That's not how I work. I don't have it. I just answered the question a minute ago that ratios I do have, but it wasn't some grand scheme. It was just the way it turned out, and different prices went up and things like that. Hi Max, with the recent announcement of Monero being tracked, I'm wondering what options there are for current holders and what your thoughts are on holding any of my privacy coins and how to manage them going forward. I didn't even hear that announcement on Monero. I think I have a little bit of Monero somewhere, but I don't have much Monero. And so I'm not really paying attention to the Monero news, and I'm sorry, I can't really help you on this question. Sorry about that. Hi Max, what's your opinion on Ripple? So I'm actually in the middle of a trade on Ripple. I'm shorting Ripple. But it's not. So actually, let's talk about, let's go back to daily. Let's talk about big picture. I haven't looked at Ripple for years. I haven't looked at it for years and years and years. But to me, when I looked at it years and years ago, it didn't seem like an ideologically pure coin, meaning I don't think it has all the features and benefits that I like in a cryptocurrency, meaning decentralized and all those things. So I'm not super excited about Ripple as a project. This particular reason I shorted it, this is actually a little bit of a training here. here's how I teach it. Here's this vertical blue line. That's where I marked. That's the day I shorted Ripple. The chart looked like this. I got my signal to sell Ripple. I got my signal there. It just so happened to be a very obvious downtrend as well, and it looked like it was most likely to bounce off that trend. So here's what I did. I short sold Ripple here. I marked this line, not because I think it's a trend line, I marked this line here as my stop loss. It was higher than the wicks of the region, and that was my stop loss. So I short sold. I sold Ripple without owning any Ripple. The way to make money is that short selling is you sell it, you don't own any, but you have to buy it back at some point. So I can either buy it back here, that would be a short loss, that would be buying low, selling high, or I set my take profits, I have to click auto off. I set my take profits way down here below this trend line because I believed it was going to bounce off that trend line and come down here. So as you can see, this was I'm in the middle of a Ripple trade. It hasn't made down here. I'm not going to sell Ripple until it gets down here, and I can probably, I'll probably even extend this blue line, out, and I'll probably, I'll move my take profits line down closer to this trend line. And the longer it stays in the channel, I'll move it down. I think it's going to come down and touch this trend line, right? But I've got I could be wrong, and I've got my stop loss set not too far away from my buy. My risk reward ratio on this trade was like 7-to-1. If I lose, I was going to lose X. If I win, I'm going to win 7X. I only need to make that trade, I need to call that trade correctly 1 in 7 times to break even. And I had a few things coming together for me. My sell signal came, and so I wanted to sell. It happened to be right at the top of a trend line in the middle of a channel. Things were perfect. Risk reward was perfect. I went ahead and shorted Ripple. So that's kind of my update on Ripple. I think it's going to come down and touch this trend line is what I'm hoping for in the middle of this trade. So my nose is itching my face off. I must have some kind of allergy. My apology, guys. Okay. Hi, Max. Is now the time to sell out of the standard shares part of the portfolio? I'm in Australia, so I have Australian shares and US market shares and buy some US dollar. I have already some money allocated to silver, gold, and cryptos. Thank you very much for your videos and training. Hi, Catherine. Sorry, I got to get this nose thing fixed. Let me just scratch my face off. Oh, goodness gracious. Sorry for that, guys. Look, I'm not telling you, so there's a whole thing about risk management and other things. Yes, for me right now, I think it's a pretty darn good time to sell shares and go into US dollars. I think in the next few months, before the US election, there's going to be a big market crash. So general thoughts, that's the thoughts. Pardon me. What should you do? That's a whole different matter. There's tax consequences, there's other consequences, there's risk management consequences, there's a whole bunch of things. I can't tell you what you to do. But it's a general thing. I think US dollars are going to outperform the stock market between now and November. If you were to choose US dollars over stock market, and then unwind that trade or close that trade on November, I think you're going to do well. Hi Max, how do you currently have a preferred Australian Bitcoin exchange? I don't. I'm sorry. I don't have any Australian dollars. And I'm not in Australia. But go to Coin Market. Actually, do I? Actually, I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure if there is. Here's the thing. There's no benefit in finding an Australian exchange and trying to find a Bitcoin Australian dollar market, because what that market is doing in the background is they're going into US dollars and then they're going back to Australian dollars, and you're just paying quite a large spread. That's why it's expensive. If you found it, that's why they're expensive. You're better off just going to your bank, changing Australian dollars to US dollars, wiring that US dollars to a larger exchange, which probably Bitfinex or Binance would be good options for you being in Australia. And then you can just trade US dollars. When you get the money back, you can sell it back into Australian dollars. The exchange you're looking for, if it exists, that's what they're doing anyway. So you can actually, I think, save a couple bucks on the spread if you do it in the bigger markets. Yo, Max, thanks for answering my previous question. Appreciate it. My question, what are your personal opinions on gold, silver stocks, as well as owning physical precious metals? So a big fan of owning physical precious metals. I am not involved in any gold and silver stocks. I don't have anything against them. I just don't happen to be involved in them. It's not an interesting thing for me. Looking at mining companies, it just seems really boring to me. So I'm not interested in it. But I don't have anything against it as a concept. I think when metals go up, gold and silver stocks are going to go up as well. Hi Max, excited to be a Success Council member to view your upcoming videos on crypto trading. I've just watched your hedging Bitcoin vid on BitUST and BTER.com again. And since that was filmed in 2014, I'm wondering what you currently advise, specifically for preserving the crypto gains that you're predicting will peak in December 2021. How will I best convert US dollars okay, I always get this question. You don't have to worry about how you're going to convert your Bitcoin into something in 2021. Don't worry about what you're going to convert it into, and don't worry about how to convert it. I can tell you how to convert it now. The problem is those solutions, things move very fast in the crypto world, and those solutions will probably change by December 21. But what I can tell you is at the end of this next bull market, there's going to be another 10 or 20% of the world population into Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going to take a massive leap in terms of liquidity. I believe banks are going to get involved, and you'll probably be able to just go into your Wells Fargo or Chase and sell your Bitcoin to them. There's going to be a lot of different options. And so I just don't worry about it, and I'll teach you, if you're a Success Council member, I'm going to teach you all that stuff as it happens. Complete noob question. But what dashboard console are you using in this video for your charts? Oh, this guy is called tradingview.com. I think there's a free option. Maybe there's not a free option, or it's $15 a month or something like that. I don't even know. But this is tradingview.com that I use. There are plenty of others. If you just Google a free one, free crypto trading platform, there's a whole list there you can find. So I think this is a $15 a month if it's not free. Okay. I have two questions. Can I get some help opening a crypto wallet, a good secure one? I wanted to invest in Monero, but my accounts with Sophie says it's not available to buy. Any advice? So I recommend hardware wallets for new people, Ledger or Trezor. But here's what I would say, just double check that the currency you're buying, in this case Monero, can be held by those wallets. If not, I'm not sure there are any other hardware wallets that you can use from Monero. Canada, very newbie to tech world, please recommend someone for steps to get me into the Bitcoin world. I have purchased Trezor Hard Wallet, having my learning troubles with it. Wanted to buy and get started. I want all these things. Apple, I think, name 10% others that Jeff and Lucy recommends. Where or who can I go to fast track me in so I know how the system works, as I need my cash out of the banking system. I've purchased some of my silver in ounces and have ordered more and have some grams for gold. Okay, thank you, Tammy. All right, here's where I'm interpreting your question as. Where do you buy cryptocurrencies? How do you store cryptocurrencies? If you go to the Bitcoin Starter Kit in the members area, let's have a quick look at that. Come into this section, Bitcoin Starter Kit. What you're going to see is how to get, what's this one, the 2020 update. That is going to teach you a couple different things. It's going to teach you where to find the coins that you want to buy and the exchanges you're going to want. Once you find the exchanges have customer support teams that can walk you through it. Also, jump on video on YouTube. Lots of people make YouTubes on how to use the exchanges. So you got that. This video also teaches you how to store. The 2020 update video teaches you how to store those videos, the cryptocurrencies. So go and watch that video. It should answer all your questions. What do we got? How to sell coins such as DeFi. All bought on Trade Ogre, never done a sell in cryptos. So the place that you buy is almost certainly the place that you sell. I'm unfamiliar with Trade Ogre, but almost always the place you buy you can sell with. So I would look at Trade Ogre or ask their support how to do that. How close are we to a digital dollar? What the transition to the digital dollar might look like and the consequences? Thanks in advance. The only consequence to a transfer to a digital dollar I can see is that it will overcome the barrier for people's minds about using like a digital currency like Bitcoin. Otherwise, I'm thinking it's going to be a big non-event. It just doesn't matter. Okay, I can use a credit card or I can use a digital dollar, whatever, it doesn't matter. So I'm just very bored by the Fed releasing a Fed coin or whatever, a digital dollar. It just doesn't matter. If they start putting programming on it, it's like you have to use it on this date or not that date or whatever. It's just going to speed up the acceleration into cryptocurrencies. So it's a non-event to me. Is Dollar Vigilante only a market? I don't know what Dollar Vigilante is, so I can't help you on that one. Where do Europeaners buy crypto best? I think Kraken is your best bet. I think Coinbase does as well. So you got those options. Bitfinex, Bitfinance, all those ones. Thanks, I'm following your advice to get most of the cash out of the bank account. Why did you show Apple chart? Is this still an asset to hop in? No, I would not be hopping into Apple. Also, wanted to know more about P2P, but from money to be lent as collateral. Could you specify how that works? Offered with silver bullion, gotcha. Why is the interest you get higher? I'm not going to explain that here, it is just too long, but it's all explained right here in Cash Bonanza, 10x your cash returns. If you want to hold cash, follow that advice to hold your cash in that mechanism, and you can 10x the returns you're getting from a bank in a much safer way, I would argue. That's what you should do there. Hi Max, my question relates to your upcoming trading course. What will the course include, and will you share your picks with the Success Council members? I want to teach people how to fish, not give them fish. So I'm probably not going to share my picks, although I don't know, I might just do it. It's just hard for me not to talk about it and use them as examples. So I'm not promising that, but I just know typically it just happened. Someone asked me about Ripple, and it's like, oh, I happen to be in a trade on Ripple, and now you know I'm in a trade on Ripple, and so there you go. What's it going to be? I will say it's going to be. I think I'm a very efficient teacher, teaching you exactly what you need to know and nothing else. So I know a lot of people just pad courses and just throw stuff in there, and so it just makes it better. It's like if I put it in there, it means I think you're going to need it. But everything is going to be short videos, and you can follow exactly what. You can skip what you don't need. Like I'm going to start for a complete newbie. Here's what a candle is. Here's what an indicator is. Here's some of the main indicators. Here, what does a candle show? I mean, all the basics. And but everything's going to be labeled. So if you want to skip things and you're advanced, you can just go straight to the more advanced strategies. You said you were doing well with your alt currency trading. For each Bitcoin you started with out there, how many do you have now? When did you start? I know there are no guarantees, but do you think it is reasonable to say that this is kind of performance for your new standard, if that is the kind of performance your new students of the videos can expect? Okay, I'm definitely not saying I expect my students to have any kind of a result whatsoever, all the disclaimers in the world. With regards to that, I have, I've only done a few live trades, so one turned out very well, and I actually haven't had any losses yet. I've only had, the ones turned out very well, and the Ripple one is still open, but looking good so far. And I want to be clear about this. This is not going to be a course where it's good for like day trading and stuff like that. I'm not a day trader. I might make a purchase and it might sit there for 3, 4, 5, 6 months. And so this is the type of thing that you can keep your job, keep working. If you have a little amount you want to play with, it's play money. And this is my play money. It's like I'm using a very small percentage of my portfolio is doing this. So this is definitely play money. I'm not selling it as a kind of a concept where it's like give up your job and become a full-time trader. This is about how to accelerate your wealth while you keep your job. And it's very, very strict. It's once you get all the rules and things, which is not many. Once you get it, you'll know it. I only spend about 5 to 10 minutes a day on this. Once you know the rules, it takes you 2 seconds to look at each chart and say, yes, no, am I doing anything today? No, okay, cool, bye. And so I only expect to make about 6 to 12 trades per year. I only do trades where I think it's quite likely that I'm going to be right, and I only do them if the risk-reward ratio is like over 5 or 6. So that's kind of my rules. That limits the trades. I only do a handful of trades, and I might be watching like 30 pairs, 30 currency pairs or crypto pairs, but I only want to make 5, 10, 15 trades per year, and that's kind of a strategy. So that's what I'm doing there. Hi Max, please can you guide me to a safe site to be able to buy crypto? I'm at the moment in Germany. Thanks in advance, mate. So look, the crypto world is very, all these questions like, well, I live here, what exchange do I use? It doesn't really matter. Kraken, Coinbase, Binance, Bitfinex, they're all great exchanges. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, you can use those guys. Hi Max, how will you effectively invest 5K? It just depends on so many things, my friend. It just depends on so many things. Depends on what other investments you have. You have nothing? I'll answer it as if you have absolutely no other investments whatsoever. You got $5,000 and that's it. I would probably go and buy $2,500 worth of Bitcoin right now, and I'd probably hold $2,500 grand and wait to buy Bitcoin at the bottom of the next big dump. That's what I would do. Love the idea of crypto trading course, Max. I've tried many over the years and none worked to the extent I liked. Too risky. Awesome to see that it will be for free. When selling crypto precious metals and you have made capital gains, what is the best way to deal with this to minimize tax liabilities? I'm in Canada. I don't know how to minimize tax liabilities, especially in Canada. Actually, I do know in America. That's what I use real estate for. My main reason to be in, two main reasons I've been in real estate thus far is one, to understand and learn the industry, become an expert in it, because I think it will be an industry I gravitate to strongly in the near future. And two, the tax incentives for real estate are just insane here in America, and I think it's pretty typical all over the world. But in terms of actually some way of getting it, and if you're in America, moving to Puerto Rico, you can do that. For Canadians, for Canadians, well, the other thing is moving jurisdiction. Other than that, I'm not familiar with anything about Canadian tax law. How is the Deutsche Bank doing, and do you see deflation soon? Yes, I do see deflation soon, and I haven't paid attention to the Deutsche Bank. I don't know. I should go and keep an eye on it. I'm curious about it. I bought half a BTC when it was at $12,000 a month ago. What do you think I should do now? Just hold it. Is it going lower than 10K? Yeah. Should I have sold it 3 days ago before the crash? Thank you. Of course you should have. But that's not fair. Don't worry about that. I don't know. I need to talk to you about the markets. What you do with the information depends on so many other things. Your other investments, the tax consequences, whatever. There's just so many things. I can't tell you what to do. But I'm telling you, I think there's a pretty good chance there will be a big market crash across all the markets before the election. That's what I'm predicting. Other than that, everything else about Bitcoin says bullish, bullish, bullish. What do you think about the Polkadot ecosystem? I haven't taken a good look at it yet, but I think it's one of the exciting projects in DeFi that I want to get to. Hi Max, I know that $1 million homes are already dropping in price. Do you think that the housing market will crash soon, or do you think that it will be another year before it starts rolling downhill? It's a great question, and it all depends on the Fed. If they're going to print money endlessly and just send money out, they can avoid a crash in everything except the dollar, or they can crash the dollar trying to save everything. There are two options, and you just got to watch them. Look, so somewhere in the next year, I think real estate's going to get hit hard, real hard. But we'll have to see. As long as they're not foreclosing on anybody, they're not kicking renters out of homes, they're not doing any of those things, it all looks like it's a little bit of a freeze pattern. Hi Max, what do you think the timing will be on the next drop? I'm thinking mid-October. It's a pretty narrow window, isn't it? We got June, July, August, September, October, November. There you go. Somewhere in those 3 months, I think there'll be a big drop. Max, I'm in Bitcoin, and some people I follow think it will drop down to fill the CME gap at 9,600 and may go down to 9,000 to test the 200-day moving average on the daily chart. What are your thoughts and with all the crap happening? Also, do you see lower prices than that because of world troubles? Yeah, it could definitely go down below 9,000 again because of the world troubles. Not a problem with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is looking extremely strong. I love it. I love everything about Bitcoin. I love its chart. I love everything. It's good, but it's still a victim to everything else if there's a huge crash in the economy. That's because of it's a liquidity crisis at that point. Hi Max, I purchased one Bitcoin the other day and it began to fall in the next few hours. So sorry, dude. I also invested in metals. I have a disproportionate amount of fiat. That's all right. Would I be best served to wait until the value of the dollar falls lower and then buy Bitcoin? Well, not the value of the dollar falling lower. You want the value of the dollar to go up and then buy more Bitcoin. Yes, Suzanne, that is the strategy. That is what I would do. I think it's great. Like this, you bought a little bit of Bitcoin. I think that's a cool thing to do because it could take off at any minute. But what you did was you kept lots of powder, dry powder, waiting for this. And I think it's a pretty wise move to wait for one more crash in the next 3 months. That's a reasonable thing. Are you predicting a second lockdown due to a second wave before elections? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. It would be a phenomenally good thing. I know Trump won't, with 100% certainty, Trump won't do it. And if the Democrats tried to do it at the state level, I think you would see that you would see the states who do it lose to Trump, and they don't give a shit about lockdowns. They don't give a shit about your health. They don't care about anything. They care about getting Trump out of there, and they're not going to do anything to help his chances. They thought it would help their chances, but they want to blame a bad economy on him, and people are through the looking glass now. Enough people understand that these lockdowns are their fault. And so it doesn't help them to do that. Should the average person even consider buying gold? Yeah, of course. Reasons not to buy. Too expensive for the average person compared to silver and Bitcoin. Silver will outperform gold. I do believe silver will outperform gold. It's too expensive for the average person compared to silver. But yeah, I mean, I think it's good to have a little bit of gold. I mean, it depends on how much money we're talking about. But I think it's good to have a little bit of gold because it's so small. You can have, 5 gold coins. You got $10,000 with you. I mean, you can do a lot of things with $10,000. Bribe people at the borders, do a bunch of things. So having a little bit of gold is a good thing. But I think silver will outperform gold. No question, Max. Just confirmation that I'm subscribed and what's your predictions and Bitcoin. So far, so true. Thank you. Last 2 questions, guys. Since the asset classes seem to move together, for Bitcoin to hit 100K by May, does that mean the stock market up 1,000% or something similar? Or do you see divergence happening where metals and crypto break away from the market? Yes, divergence will happen, in my opinion, and metals and crypto will break away. The book recommendation, The 0 Hour, has been invaluable. Thank you for all that you do. Cheers to you, mate. I look forward to meeting you. Awesome. Dude, no question there. Guys, thank you so much. Remember, subscribe, like. If you want to check out the webinars that I'm doing, the online trainings that I'm doing over the next few days, go ahead, click the link in the top of the description. And I'd love to see you guys soon. Thanks so much. We'll see you soon.